Welcome back to So Many Secrets. Last time, Elyana learned that she was probably adopted. Today she will learn or suspect who or what she really is. Here's Teresa reading Chapter 3.
Chapter 3. The next morning, I opened the shrink's door and saw the secretary watering her bonsai tree. It looked like it needed more than water. I walked over and touched a drooping branch. My energy reached for the tree. Too late, I remembered the sick animals at the zoo I'd healed. The tree straightened up in perfect health. Did the secretary notice? I couldn't give her a chance to relate it to my touch. I smiled at her and said, "Good thing you watered it. It must have been really thirsty." The secretary was still staring at the tree in disbelief when the shrink said, "Come in, Elyana." Did he see what happened? That definitely wouldn't be good. I followed him into his gloomy office and gave him my list. His smile looked genuine. "Give me a minute to read this, and we can get started." He turned on his desk light, and that dispelled some of the gloom. I settled in the chair but kept my shades on and closed my eyes. I tried not to think. I concentrated on my breathing. Deep inhale, slow, full exhale. In, out, in, out, in, out. We're going to try hypnosis today. Major panic, rapid breathing. I would have to cooperate, but hoped I wouldn't say something to send me outside. This is nothing to be afraid of. His voice was rich and slow. You will be aware of what you're saying the entire time, and you will remember it when you wake up. His voice was kind, but he wasn't giving me a choice. He pulled a stool over beside me and reclined my chair. My muscles contracted and my breathing came fast and shallow. There's nothing to be afraid of, Elyana. Just relax. I let him remove my glasses but kept my eyes closed and took a deep breath. Very good. Relax. Listen to my voice. It will be like a path for you to follow. His voice was so seductive, I knew I should resist, but I wanted to know what would happen. Maybe he really could make the craziness go away. That would be lovely. And he said I'd be aware of what I was saying, so... His voice was like a soft pillow, a place to rest. Just relax. Start at the crown of your head and feel your muscles relaxing. Imagine a soft light flowing down your body, relaxing you as it goes. Feel your eyebrows relax, your eyes, your cheeks, even your tongue. Relax. That's it. The warm voice flowed over me. Let go of all your tension. Your shoulder muscles are relaxing. You're feeling very comfortable. By the time his instructions reached my feet, I was positively limp. Very good. I'm going to count backward from 10 to 1. With each count, you will go back to an earlier event in your life. 10. 9. I was floating. 6. Leaving this place. 4. I lost track of my body. 3. 2. 1. A woman was singing to me. It was the woman in my vision. The music of her voice filled me, and I sang the woman's words back to her. The woman told me she'd be gone for a while and to go to sleep. Far away, some man inhaled sharply. His voice told me to repeat what I hear and see in English. Who is this woman? The voice asked. My mother. Can you describe her and the room you're in? The gentle voice suggested. She looks like me. Same coppery hair, same funny green eyes. I'm in a little hammock beside a window. I see stars. They're getting smaller, like I'm going away from them. I'm rushing toward a pretty blue ball. Closer and closer. Now I see trees. Then something shiny and pretty. I want it. I reach for it. Oh, I'm all wet. The buggy eyes. Fish. I struggled to get away from them. Strong hands captured my flailing arms. That's enough, Elyana. You're safe. Just follow my voice and wake on the count of 1. 10, 9. I clung to the voice that took me away from the fish. 3, 2, 1. I opened my eyes and turned my head toward the shrink. His eyebrows were raised, and his eyes were wide open. He was sitting on the edge of his stool staring at me. He'd seen my weird eyes and had heard me describe my vision. Panic time. I shoved on my shades and sat up. I thought this was supposed to help me. All it did was give me a weird dream, a dream about fishes again. I hate that dream. It's the one I had at the center when I was swimming. How did you make me dream the same dream? I can't do any more today. Did the shrink believe my protest, or did he realize I understood what I'd revealed under hypnosis? I needed to get out of there before the lights went crazy again. You did well today, Elyana. His voice was soft and silky. I'll see you tomorrow. Same time. Tomorrow? I had to go through this again? I had to get out of there, but I didn't want him to see I was scared. I flashed a smile and said, Great! See you then. I forced myself to casually leave his inner sanctum and walk normally past the secretary. Once I reached the hall, I dashed down the stairs and out of the building. I ran and didn't stop until I reached my apartment building. I was hot and sweat had soaked through my clothes. For once, I took the elevator and had to rummage in a bag for a tissue to wipe my sweaty palm so the scanner would let me in. I drank a gallon of strawberry milk before heading to my room. A shower would be lovely, but it wasn't my scheduled day. I flopped on the bed and closed my eyes. Everything I'd learned at the shrinks flashed through my mind. The woman was my mother. I was a baby in a hammock looking out a window as stars got smaller. Whatever I was in must have been descending, going away from stars and toward the pretty blue ball, Earth. Not possible. There had to be some other explanation. I must have hallucinated under hypnosis. But like my first vision, it all felt so real. I knew that lights from alien craft had been spotted above Earth for years, even though there had been no reported contact. Even assuming I was on an alien craft, how could I go from being a baby in a hammock to being in water with fish? None of it made any sense. But I decided to search newspaper archives for reported sightings 14 years ago. I found lights were spotted over southwest Michigan at that time. Interesting, but that didn't prove anything. I took a break and headed for the kitchen for some yogurt. I decided to assume the impossible. If I was in a starship and landed in water with fish, I clearly didn't drown. Someone must have pulled me out, someone who had a reason to be near the water. The lakes were toxic, so I couldn't have survived if I'd landed in a lake. I had to have been in some other kind of water, something safe like a huge fish tank at a farm pod. I dropped the yogurt and it splashed all over the table. I jumped up to do a quick cleanup. If all of the above was somehow true, I knew who had rescued me. Mom used to be a farm inspector in southwest Michigan. My stomach did a major flip. The connection to Mom was plausible, but I still couldn't see how I could go from a spaceship to a fish tank. And it stretched credibility even further to think Mom was there at the exact moment I landed in the tank. Of course, the farmer could have fished me out, and at some point Mom saw me at the farm and decided to keep me. Probably even the farmer didn't know I came from a starship. If I did, if any of it was true. Stupid speculation. Probably all the coincidences were just that. Stupid coincidences.
Thank you, Teresa, and please join us next time when we will meet FBI Agent Strang.